Hey guys, Uncle Jay Shuffleboson here with another story for you. I'm going to tell you guys what it was like to yank it before cell phones and internet and stuff like that. Now, if you guys were born, I don't know, fucking after 2000, I mean, you have no idea the struggle that old timers like me, the lengths we had to go through to try and find pornography to yank it to when we were younger. It was tough. It was tough. We didn't have cell phones with the Pornhub on their tablets, none of that shit. We had dirty magazines and VHS tapes, whatever we could fucking find. Whenever I ditched school, I would leave the school grounds, and I always wanted to avoid the roads, just in case, like, somebody, my dad on his lunch break or somebody would be driving down the road and they'd see me walking home on the sidewalk, I'd get in trouble. So I always avoided the main roads, and I'd always just take like back roads and go through like the lemon orchards and shit like that. All that stuff's gone now. That's all track housing and shit. But back then, I used to go through the lemon orchards, and there'd be some hobo hideouts in those orchards, like little homeless encampments, as it were. And fuck, this thing's dark, isn't it? Isn't it dark in here? Let me see if I can move this a little bit closer. Maybe that's better. I don't know. Oh, that's a little bit better, I think. Anyway, sorry. So I'd go through that area, and I'd wait for the bums, the homeless people, to get out of their encampment and leave and go like beg for money at the intersections or whatever. And I was curious to see what was in there. And so I'd peek into their tents and shit, and I'd see like old bottles of hooch. But those guys had the dirtiest magazines, that like stuff like more graphic than Penthouse, like Wee or fucking whatever you call it, and Hustlers and shit. And I'm like, oh, Score is a fucking gold mine. So I'd steal all the dirty magazines, and and that's the thing too, living with my mom and dad, where am I going to hide that shit? It was tough trying to find a hiding place for the dirty magazines. I'd steal off the homeless people. Shit like that. There used to be a lingerie section in the Sears catalog my mom would get. I'd take that to the bathroom and yank it. It was a struggle. It was a struggle. You couldn't just pull up your phone and just look up Brandy Love or whatever. Nah. You had to fucking find Smut and other places. Every now and then, one of your buddies would get a hold of a VHS tape, all grainy and shit. I had one. I don't know how I got it, but it was a copy of a friend's dirty movie that he had. It was like Debbie Does Dallas or some shit like that. And so we matched the two VCRs together, put the dirty movie in one, hit play, and then hit record on the bottom one. So that's how we copied tapes. And I took a fresh label and I put it on the VHS tape, and I wrote Jay's hockey game or something like that on there. Or like Kings versus Flyers, like something like that. And what I did was, I didn't keep that in my room. I kept it in the movie shelf catalog. We had a big shelf on the wall of like movies, VHS movies. I just kept like 2 or 3 of them in there in plain sight. My mom and dad weren't going to pull out one of my hockey tapes and put it in the VCR and watch it. They had no interest in that. They're like, oh, that's Jay's shit. Those are his tapes. Little did they know that I had the lesbians in there scissoring each other and shit like that. They had no idea what was on those tapes. To this day, they don't. I'll tell them. So yeah, that was tough. I thought that was pretty clever, though, hiding that shit out in plain sight like that. And then the DVDs came out, and that was a whole different thing. That was considered high def in those days. And getting those was tough, too. There's a store in Ventura right off of Victoria, off the Highway 101 there, called, it's still there. It's called Salzer's. Then there's two of them. There's Salzer's Gifts, and the other one's Salzer's Video. And they used to rent DVDs and movies and stuff. And you'd go in there, and once you go in there and you go to the left, in that back corner, there's a beaded curtain there. And and behind that curtain is where they kept all the adult films, all the dirty movies. And so that's what you had to do. You couldn't just get shit online. You had to fucking physically go to a video store and buy it in front of other people. And you just have to look on the back of it at the scenes and stuff, if that's something that you're into or whatever, and take a chance and spend they were like, some of them were like close to $30. I remember, I remember that. Some of them were fucking expensive. So if you're that hard up for porno, that's what you had to do. So I remember, I went in there one time, and I'm looking around. I'm pretending to be looking at the westerns, you know. And when the employees would turn their back on me, I'd dart behind that beaded curtain, and I'm just like looking through shit. Okay, what's this? Ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's that? And I'm like, fuck, I'll give this one a shot. And I made the mistake of doing this on a Friday late afternoon, like around 5:30. Because that's what time I got off of work, and I went straight there. So I'm in there. I find some smut. Oh God, what was it? I can't think of her name right now. It'll come to me. But anyway, she was like my favorite at the time. Oh, I gotta get this one. I like her. And I come out. I emerge from that room, the beaded curtains. I look, and the store's packed with customers, lots of people, and so here I am with this fucking DVD. Now, the problem was that people used to steal that shit. So they started locking them in these see-through plastic jewel cases that require a special key that looks like a comb or something that you shove up in the bottom of it, and then you kind of shift a little bit and unlocks the bottom and it drops out. And that key is only available behind the register. So you have to take this thing in this case up there, and then they unlock it, take it out, and then they scan it and ring you up. So, oh my God. So I got this thing, and I'm kind of holding it off to my side a little bit because I don't want people to notice what I got. And I'm like, fuck it, I gotta get out of here. There's a lot of people here, and it could be somebody here that might recognize me. I don't know. I get in line, and there's only one cashier, and the line's kind of big. There's like 3 or 4 people ahead of me, and it's moving a little bit, and behind me was a family of like 4, you know, this husband and wife and these 2 kids, and they're getting like the latest Disney movies and stuff, and I'm trying to keep this thing in front of me so they don't see what I got. And I'm pretty embarrassed at this point, and I'm kind of about at the point where I'm like, fuck this, and just like hide it behind something and just walk out. But then another employee showed up and got to the second register, and he said, I'll help the next person. And he looked at me and he's like, come on. I'm like, fuck. So I get up there, and is a female cashier. Yes, that's what it was. The other one was that was already working the register was a guy, but a gal showed up, and I'm like, fuck, I have to give her this porno DVD. So I hand it to her like that, not really looking at her, and she's like, how's your night going? I'm like, yes, fine, everything's fine. I just want to get out of here. Not for nothing. And she goes to get the key, and she's trying to jam it into this security case to unlock it. And then she's holding it up, looking at it, like, why isn't this working? And she's like trying to get it to go. So now I'm just sitting there like, oh, fuck it. Just show it off to everybody. What do I care? At this point, I'm expecting somebody to be like, hey, Jay, what's that you getting? You know? And so she's having a hard time with it. And I was about to say, like, you know what? Screw it, I changed my mind. I don't want it. Who cares? I changed my mind. It's all good. Then she says to the guy that was already there working that register, she said, hey, Mark, or whatever, can you help me open this up? So now, the customers that he was helping out stopped to look over at what I'm getting and what they're doing. And so now they're both doing this tug-of-war thing. They finally get it unlocked. And so fucking everybody in line knows that I'm getting some smut. And she rings it up and she's like, oh, it'll be $32.50 or whatever. And I just hand her like $40. Cha-ching, you know, pulling out my change and stuff. Puts it in the bag, hands me my change, and hands me the porno DVD. And she says, kind of an expensive date for you tonight. And I'm like, motherfucker. Just to add insult on top of insult, you know, an embarrassment on top of everything. And I was just a little pissed. I'm like, yeah, but she's putting out tonight. And I don't have to buy her dinner. Have a nice fucking night. So I fucking left. So yeah. Before the internet, you know, cell phones and stuff like that, that's the shit you had to do to yank it. I'm glad those days are gone. Tara Patrick, that was her name. Oh man. So yeah, that was tough. You know, as a teenager, you know, you'd fucking have to hide your dirty magazines. You couldn't do it in your sock drawer or any drawer because, you know, if your mom does your laundry, you know, then she's gonna fold stuff up and put it away. So I had to find places to hide that stuff on the shelf in my closet. My mom's like, why are all your socks underneath your bed? Why are they crusty? I'm yanking it, Ma. Leave me alone. Oh, and I remember a friend of mine. He has 2 older sisters. And the oldest one had some kind of cosmetic surgery done to her boobs, but it wasn't like a boob job. It was just something being pulled up or tucked or something. Just a minor cosmetic thing. Well, the other sister, it's like, well, if she's getting better boobs, I'm going to get some boobs. And I'm leaving their names out of this. I still talk to these people. And so she found a plastic surgeon that'd give her some tits. And she's like, well, I'm not sure what kind I want. And the doctor said, you know what you ought to do? He said, get a Playboy magazine and just pick a pair out and I'll see what I can do for you. So Playboy used to have these magazines called Book of Lingerie. And it wasn't no articles and stuff. It was just sexy women wearing lingerie and stuff. And so she went out and bought like 2 or 3 of these things, hands them to her brother, who's my best friend at the time, and me. And she's like, you guys, what looks good to you? So we're like going through them, like, all right, this one's good. This one's good. These are pretty good. Okay. These are practical joke size tits. Don't get those. You know, and she took our feedback and stuff. She's like, all right, well, these look nice. I do like those. I think these will look good on me, blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of an awkward, discussion in the beginning, but I don't know, it kind of go over pretty quick. So she picked out a pair of cans and went and got those. And, but yeah, that was a fucking awesome magazine. They don't have that anymore. But yeah, we asked her, hey, can we keep these? She's like, well, yeah, duh. Yeah, so anyways, that's my story about what it was like to try and yank it before the internet. So anyways, I hope you guys get a laugh out of that. I never got caught, like my mom never walked in on me or my sister or anything like that. So that's good. I walked in on my roommate once. This was the funniest fucking thing. I should have knocked first. As soon as I opened up the door, I saw him all, and he started laughing. He's like, get out. Anyway. Alright, funny haha. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe. That way you'll get notified whenever I post up new videos. And check me out on Twitch. I do play games and tell stories and shoot the shit with you guys. Yeah, check out the other stuff I got down there. Exciting things. High fives and boners. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon.